What's good, everybody? It's Real Talk Sports, and y'all know how we do things. We get straight to it. I'm Tevin Harris.
I'm Colin Reiser.
I'm Lexi Hodgson.
We got the whole gang in here today. But we're gonna start off with a little bit of hockey. All right. So, Lexi, I'm gonna let you take the floor. What's happening with hockey? What's going on?
All right. So the playoffs just started last night, and with it starting, it's kind of similar to last year. A lot of people are considering the playoff format stupid. Like Forward, ESPN is saying it, a lot of reporters are saying it. Basically, 6 teams are guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, and it's like 6 on the East, 6 on the West. And then there's 2 wildcard spots for each, regardless of what division they're in. And the way it worked out last year and this year, the top 3 teams in the league are in the same division, which means that the one team is going to play the wildcard team. That's what you're awarded for being the best. You're going to get that. But the second place team is also playing the third place team in the first round, which means that one of the best teams in the league is going to be knocked out in the first round of the playoffs.
Because the 2 best teams are playing
in the same division. They're in the same division, so they're going to be knocked out in the first round. And the same thing happened last season, and it's ridiculous to me. It's almost like the fourth place team in the Metro, because the Metropolitan Division is the best in the league. 3 of the best teams in the league are in that division. So the number 4 team gets to go over to the Atlantic Division and play their number 1 team. But the number 4 team has more points than the number 1 team. So they're like being rewarded for being the 4th team.
Exactly.
And they're going to go play the first place team, but they have more points than them. So I think that the NHL, they have to do this format throughout the 2018-2019 season. That's just the way it works out. But I think they need to reevaluate when the season is over, and instead of saying this is the format regardless of what the turnout is, they need to look at, this is the first place team, this is second place, third place. There's no reason that those teams should be knocked out in the first round. There should not be any chance that one of the top 3 teams in the league are done in the first round.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not fair.
Okay, so what you're saying is like after each season, it should be like kind of like a custom-made playoff to kind of
yes, they need to reevaluate and look at it that way.
So wait, is it more teams that need to be added or less teams that need to be
added? I think the amount is fine because the way it works out is there's 16 total going to the playoffs, 8 from each side, and I think that's a perfect matchup the way it works out. I just think that they need to look at it afterwards and look at the matchups because it's like a set thing now, so no matter what the end of the season looks like, this is what's going to be happening. And it happened last season, and it's happening this season. That one of the best teams in the league is going to be done so early. And that's just not right.
And then, you're putting your best teams out there on the first round, and, the rest of the playoffs is like, okay, well, I mean, we know who's going to win now.
Exactly. And it's not, and it also sucks because some people think, that specifically to the New York Rangers, that they kind of played the season to try to get that 4th spot because they knew, if we get the 4th seed, we're going to be playing. We don't have to play one of the best teams in the league.
And so maybe later on, when they got some injuries or whatever happens.
And there was a lot of talk about the Rangers doing that, which I think is so not right. It takes away from the sport. It's so unsportsmanlike, and it's not the way the game should be played. And they should not be playing that way heading into the playoffs. That's terrible. So I think that, every season the GMs have a meeting. This is something that will be addressed after this 2018-2019 season, and they're going to try to readjust this because even the players are vocal about how terrible this is.
Yeah.
So I think it needs to be changed, and I guess they didn't think that things like this could happen, but it's 2 seasons in a row now. And it needs to be changed.
I just want to see Ovechkin. That's all I want to see.
Well, last I heard, they're losing 2-1 to Toronto right now, so we'll see.
Well, I should say, can y'all win something? Please.
I'll say this much. Sounds like they need to change the playoff format. But if I were a GM or coach and there was a playoff format, I'd be coming to 4th place.
Right. And lose this game.
Exactly. And they know when they're going in, they know because it's on a point system. So it's really not that hard to figure it out towards the end. We lose this game, we're going to stay here, and then we're going to go play a team that's supposedly better because they're number 1, but we have 4 more points than them.
Right.
So I think the NHL needs to look at that and be like, teams are playing to lose, and that's not right.
I rarely say this, but they should probably take a page from the NFL where the team that wins the division, honestly, they get the seed, and then wild cards, it's only 2 wild cards from each conference. So you got 4 teams, each team AFC East, AFC North, AFC South, AFC West, NFC East, NFC North. The list goes on,
Right.
and then you got 2 wild cards from each. So you can't really like lose
Right.
because if you're a wild card team and you're still behind your division winner, then you're technically like sitting there like, okay, are we even going to get into the playoffs?
Yeah.
Like if you're 8-7, or no, we'll say if you're 6-7, there's another team sitting there 6-7, and y'all got to win out, then you can't lose games technically to say, oh, we can avoid the Seahawks if we play here, or if we can avoid the Patriots if we play here.
And that's what's disappointing because the NHL works so hard to
Right.
improve their game because they know that they don't get the biggest fan base. It's growing every single year, and that league works so hard to make people want to watch hockey.
Right.
They're trying to make goals easier to come by because people don't like watching 1-0 hockey games. They've done everything they can. So it just is crazy to me that the NHL has this format. It's a league that works so hard to bring in fans and money, and a lot of people are upset about it. Yeah, it's crazy to me. So I really hope that it's reevaluated after the 2018-2019 season.
Man, agreed. Well, going to like tanking, but actually going to teams who don't tank, we're going to slide it off to basketball, and we're going to talk about little playoff scenarios where, you know, we're going to basically guesstimate, you know, who's going to go home very early and who will still have a chance to go get the chip. So Color, break it down. Who we got going against who, and then, you know, who might win it? Who might,
In the East, we got the Pacers and the Cavs.
Oof.
We got the Bucks and the Raptors. Hawks play Wizards. Bulls play Celtics. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference first. How you feel about the Pacers and Cavs?
I mean, all right, so Paul George, he's been different this season. So he's got $70 million riding right now because technically the media is deciding if he can make $70 million. He has to make. There's an incentive in his contract where he has to make the first or second team. He has to make all NBA,
right?
And he'll make his $70 million to get his bonus. Now, should the media decide that? No. And should he really would even want to stay in Indiana after, you know, all the turmoil they've had? They've had a team. Then after Miami, I mean, he kind of fell into a bad situation because he was coming into his prime when he got hurt, and then the Heat were still rising, and they still had their reign. And then when LeBron left, it was like everybody else left. Lance was gone. Roy Hibbert became who Roy Hibbert eventually was. He was just average. And the team just kind of fell apart. But now he's back. He's acting up, and he's got a team that's not going to be good enough to compete with the Cavs. I mean, regardless of how the Cavs look.
I don't know if they'll be able to look.
They'll give. I'd say they got one game in them. It'll be a 5-1.
I say they got 2 games.
Or 4-1. Sorry.
I say they got 2 games in them.
They got 2 games.
I think Pacers can win.
So wait, okay. Do you think they're going to steal one in Cleveland and then come back home and get one? Because they have played well at home this season.
I think they're going to win 1 game at home and still 1 in Cleveland.
Game 1 or 2?
Game 2.
I think they got to get them in game 1. I think if you come out and you say, all right, this ain't going to be easy, and you punch them in the mouth game 1, then the Cavs got to come back and LeBron's going to be like, look, y'all, I'm not going home. I got to get another ring. I'm not going home, all right? So y'all better get it together. Kevin Love, I need 20. Kyrie, I need you to do this, all right? I need this. I need a ring again.
We'll see. Okay, how about Bucks and Raptors?
I just want to see Guinness, but it's going to be the Raptors. Probably the Raptors in 6. I think the Bucks can. That's a team that can get 2.
Here's the thing. I like seeing the Bucks play.
I do too.
They're young and exciting, but the Raptors are just a much better team. But here's what I think it's going to be. I think the Bucks are kind of like the measuring bar to see how good the Raptors are to play the team that wins between the Pacers and Cavs. It's probably going to be the Cavs. You never know, but probably going to be the Cavs. We know that's, King James. But the Raptors played them tough last season.
They did.
If anyone remembers, that was a good series.
Wasn't it 6, right?
It went to 6 games. I think if they put themselves against the Bucks, they shoot them out real quick, 4 games, get them out of here real quick. They rest up. LeBron's going to play a lot of minutes.
Isn't Jabari hurt again?
Is Jabari Parker hurt? I think
he is. He tore his ACL again,
cool.
man.
This is perfect. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
Jabari, please get healthy, bro. Jabari Parker, please get healthy.
All love to everybody in, Bucks. I'm sorry, but y'all got to get up out of here. Bye.
Yeah, I might go home.
Let's have the Raptors be healthy, well-rested, so we can have a really good game against the Cavs. Because I'll tell you this much.
That backcourt is serious.
I want the Cavs to lose. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I want them to lose.
But then the Warriors will probably get out any team in the East.
Interesting.
Really.
It'll be interesting.
I think the only team that could probably match up with the Warriors if the Cavs weren't in there was probably the Celtics.
All right, let me ask her then.
Okay.
Would you rather see the very expected with the Golden State Warriors and the Cavs playing the finals like it's been
For the third time in a year in a row.
Or would you rather see a team no one really expected to be there, the Raptors pull off an upset and ride the coattails of success?
I love underdogs.
Underdogs.
They are the Huskies too. So
Let's
I mean, we're
go.
the Raptors, but they used to be the Huskies. Read up on your history. Do your Googles. Do your Googles.
All right, then how about this? The Hawks and the Wizards.
Look, I'm all about John Wall has been acting up this season. Bradley Beal, he's acting like he got that mega deal, so he's acting like, he wants to keep that. So I'll go for the hometown this time. I'm going to go with the Wiz. I think it's going to be a 7-game, though. The Hawks, they look like pushovers, but they're not. They're in the playoffs for a reason. They play, 4-1, which is, they space the floor, shoot. They got shooters everywhere. Dwight is down low, so I know how you feel about Dwight Howard, but he's still somebody. He still plays. And I think they got a shot. And then Paul Millsap, don't underestimate Paul Millsap. So, I mean, they got a chance, but it's 7 Wizards and 7.
All right, here's all I have to say about that. It'll be a good series because both teams, they lack the firepower to close the other one out.
Mm-hmm.
But I give the Wizards the advantage because they got John Wall. The Hawks don't have the star power. They don't have that player to match up with John Wall's quickness, his athleticism, his ability.
Or Bill, honestly.
Right. That's true. Bradley Beal's coming into his own again. He's starting
Right.
to heal up from the injury. He's starting to get back to where he was in 2011, 2012. So I think that between those teams, the Wizards have more star power. That matters. I know Hawks play good team basketball. Look, teams can't beat greats. That's all I'm saying. John Wall's a great. Okay. Bulls and Celtics.
Celtics are going to take that. The Celtics will probably get that. If they handle business, they should get that in like 5 because they need to get as much rest as they can get and then get to that next round. See who can they get knocked out because they'll probably play the Wizards or the Hawks winner. So they need to go ahead and get rid of that, series quickly so that they can go ahead and just get to this Eastern Conference Finals and see what they can do against the Celtics. Against the Cavs. Yeah. And if they can knock out the Cavs, they got a real good chance of winning this NBA Finals. They got a chance. They do.
That's true.
They do. Isaiah Thomas is to not be slept on. He's kind of like our AI. He is. He's kind of like our generation's AI. He's like that tall. He can still get to the basket. Tough as heck. Got strength. You can't just move him around. And he plays defense. And he will give you buckets. So they got a team.
If the Celtics can get past the Bulls, they will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a guarantee.
I guarantee.
Okay, let's switch over to the West Coast.
Let's go about that West side.
Let's go about the West side real quick. We all know it happens every year. It's the most lopsided playoff matchup you ever seen.
Legit.
The Spurs and the Grizzlies. We know how it's gonna be.
Look, the Spurs is about to get the broom. They about to get the pan. Sweep them up out of here. Put them in the trash. A sweep is when a team wins 4-0. NBA format is you got 7 games. If you win in 4 games, that is a sweep. If you win 4-1, it's a gentleman's sweep. It means the team. They show some pride. And they say, we're going to take one because our fans paid money to come see us play.
Right.
Other than that, you just had a good series, but 4-0 sweep, that's kind of what that is ringing to me. They only got Marcus Always coming off an injury. Zebo, he's getting older. He's getting slower. He'll still give you buckets, but the Spurs with Kawhi not probably going to get MVP this year. He's probably, he's not a talkative dude, but you can tell when he wants something.
Right, he's going to turn up.
He's going to turn up. And then Popovich, he's always, he's low-key rude, which I like. I like a rude coach, honestly.
All right, let's go through this real quick then. Jazz Clippers, we know what that's going to be about.
That's the Clippers. That's the Clip in 5.
That's the Clips all day, anytime. Jazz, they're going to put up a fight.
Gordon Hayward can ball.
But this is
and Rudy Gobert.
Please. Child, please. Trailblazers, Warriors, we know what that's about. Warriors all the way.
Yeah.
I do want to say Damian Lillard, but it's going to be the Warriors. Let's be honest.
I want Lillard to get up out of Trailblazers.
I do too.
Yeah.
Hey, Damian Lillard. Bruh.
Call me.
Find a new home, my guy.
time to leave.
But let's talk about the matchup that I was really excited about. The Thunder and the Rockets. The two studs in the NBA this year.
Russie!
Who's going to put the team on their back more and get the 4 games they need to move on to the next
Lexi, we got a situation where 2 MVP candidates are playing up against each other.
Yes, we need your advice on this.
And
I don't know who to choose.
And wait, the NBA has decided they will move back their coronation of the MVP this year to June, which is a whole nother subject. So they've decided that, you know, Russie and Harden are going to have to play it out, and, you know, whatever LeBron does.
Wow.
But they're going to move it back to June, so all the other awards are going to be announced, but to be MVP, you got to wait until the season's over.
And they don't normally do that. Normally
They announce it
as soon as
at least by the first round.
Specifically for this game.
They did it specifically for this year.
Players and stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Because it was just a coincidence.
Right. So look. I'm a Russell Westbrook guy.
I am too.
I love his intensity. I'm gonna roll with the Thunder. I think they can.
Thunder
do
and
it.
what though? And what?
I think it's gonna go to 7 games.
Me too.
I think it's gonna go to 7. I like the Thunder because they have Victor Oladipo. His jump shot is struggling. I don't like to see that.
He's always been an athletic dude.
His jump shot
coming out of
struggling, but he
Indiana.
can get to the cup. They have 2 big men. I trust Steven Adams. He's had a down year this year. Steven Adams
and cancer.
But they're still big.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets don't have anything to compare with anybody big. The last big man they had was he who shall not be named, Mr. Howard, and we know how that turned out. That's a no-no. Let's not go back there.
G12.
The only option the Rockets have, listen to me, Houston, give the ball to James Harden.
And just move.
And just move
Let's go
and
to the
knock
side.
down open shots.
4-1. Just like a lot of shooting.
If you let him be the primary ball handler and you do what you did the whole season, let him get his almost triple-double, let him get his 11 assists a game, you will be in Game 7. After that, you got to deal with Mr. Westbrook, but you'll be in Game 7.
Honestly, I think if the better team is the Rockets, so if the Rockets can, like you said, their formula is give the ball to Harden. If they're hitting, they could probably get him out of there in at least a game before. I got the Rockets in 6 because they're a better team. Russell Westbrook is going to win MVP, though. He's the better player as of today.
Here, I'm going to let him decide with that.
How you feel about it?
I'm going to say Thunder.
I knew she was going to pick Russie. I knew she was going to pick Russie. All right, y'all. So now that that's done, we had a good show, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to the segment that I know y'all been waiting for. It's called Through the Grapevine. So, you know what I'm saying? I guess I could pick, but, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and let it volunteer. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh, okay. I like volunteers. I like team players.
Okay, so this happened earlier today. The Pittsburgh Steelers chairman, Dan Rooney, passed away. I think he was like 86. He's been a part of the organization since 1955, and anyone who's an NFL fan knows the Rooney's long line of history with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's not just, like, NFL. He was a U.S. ambassador for Ireland. Like, Barack Obama appointed him. And Rooney was really an advocate for a lot of different things in the league. A lot of teams loved him. One thing that he's really known for is the Rooney Rule. He was really into diversity in the league. So the Rooney Rule requires a team to interview at least one minority coach in a hiring process, which I think it's great. And it was really cool that he implemented that and teams had to follow it. And it's a really sad day in Pittsburgh and with the NFL. If you get on Twitter, I mean, there's only wonderful things said about him from reporters. You know, old retired Steelers are just tweeting the cutest pictures of him because he was this, like, really, 80-year-old guy who's still coming out to the games. Like, there's pictures of him on the sidelines, and it's so upsetting. He used to sit on the back of the bus, or their charter when they would go places, and a player even said to him, like, why do you sit in the back? You should be up front, and he's just like, you guys are playing tomorrow, not me, so I'm going in the back. And he was just a guy who was all about everyone else. So this is really, really upsetting, a sad day for NFL and in Pittsburgh. Man. He created a legacy in Steelers and Pittsburgh. But
it's really the Steeler way. He got 6 trophies.
Yeah, 6 most in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So it's upsetting.
Rest in peace. Colin, go ahead, man.
Oh, but the thing that I want to talk about?
Yes, sir.
Marshawn Lynch could be a Raider. I think it's a beautiful day. Here's why. Martavius Murray left. He went to Minnesota. Martavius Murray, if you know, he's a hard-nosed, strong, big-body running back, downhill type of guy. If you're going to lose one, might as well pick up one. Marshawn Lynch, there are negotiations for him to be reinstated to play.
I heard.
I think it's a great opportunity. He still has it in him. He could still be a great running back. He's only been retired for, what, a year?
It's been actually a couple of months, actually.
A few months.
Yeah.
So he still has the legs in him.
Oh, he sat the season out, so
He still has the legs.
He still got the legs.
He still has the legs in him.
That's taking a year off for a running back. You need that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with the Raiders. They are a growing team. They've gotten very, very good. They're improving each and every season. They're adding new players to the roster, very young talent, getting guys who are serviceable. If they can add a hard-nosed guy like Marshawn Lynch, he knows how to maintain himself. He stays healthy. He plays hard. No off-the-field issues. He deals with the stuff on the field. He always comes to play. He can bring a lot of leadership. He can bring a lot of heart. And he could be the hard nose you need to kind of push you into that playoff push that the Raiders could be looking to get. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Well, I'm going to stay with football, too. So apparently the Cleveland Browns, who we all love and, adore, apparently they're deciding between a young quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, I believe that's his name, the young man's name, quarterback from North Carolina. He's only had 12 starts around. He's only got one season under his belt, basically. Coming out this year, he's apparently now the highest-rated quarterback over Deshaun Watson, who beat Alabama, the best team in football, college football at least. We'll talk about that later. Or some other guy from a low-level school, not really talked about. Basically, it's Trubisky and it's Watson. And Trubisky is right now being, highly rated. And apparently the Browns, they always need a quarterback. This is like, if they start a new quarterback this season, it's going to be like almost, I believe, like their 20th quarterback that they've started. It's a lot of quarterbacks that they've lost. And then they also have to pick between the young man Myles Garrett from Texas A&M, DN, outside linebacker. He's held as one of the best outside linebackers or edge rushers.
I'm an advocate for that.
I'm my best. Look, though, you need in a league, and especially in the division they're in. They're in the AFC North. They have the dang on Ravens. You got Joe Flacco. You got Ben Roethlisberger, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you got the Bengals. You got Andy Dalton. So you need to get to the quarterback, and they don't have a lot of talented.
Exactly.
They don't have a lot of talent in Cleveland. When you're trying to build something, you don't want to get a young quarterback in a situation, especially a guy who's only started for one season at a low-level conference. You don't want to get him in a situation where he's got to put on all this weight. They don't have a lot of wide receivers. They don't have a lot of offensive talent. Go get the edge rusher. Go start something on your defense that y'all can go ahead and build around. Get corners because you need some because this is a passing league. And then you can build your offense. Then you can say, okay, we can start on getting a quarterback. We can get some wide receivers in here, and we can get a running game. But you're in a division where you have ground to make up, and you need to get the best player available.
Yeah, they'd be silly to pass up.
They would be silly, and they got the 12th pick, so you can always go.
Exactly, they can go back to the number 12. That's what I was gonna say.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
We know this. We know it's not gonna work, right?
Yeah,
No, it's not gonna work the way. No,
I'm praying
it's the
for
Browns.
y'all. And look, we praying for y'all, Cleveland. Praying for everybody out there. Rest in peace to the Steelers owner. And y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great, fantastic year. I love y'all. We love y'all. It's Real Talk Sports. Everybody say bye to the people. Wave to them. Do a little dab. It's Real Talk Sports. We love y'all. Bye.